Good morning, student. Today we will read about natural resources, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife. It is 8th class and chapter 19. So, what we will read in this chapter? Water resources, availability of water, uses of water, the scarcity of water, water resources in India, multi-purpose project, conservation of water resources, methods of conservation of water, natural vegetation and wildlife, importance of forests, distribution of natural resources means vegetation, importance of wildlife, the classification of forest, conservation of wildlife, and the wildlife conservation in India especially. So, let us start our chapter. Water resources. Water is a vital renewable resource. Without water, there is no questions of life on the earth's surface. We can live for 15 days without food, but it is difficult to survive without water more than 2 days. 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. Therefore, it is called the watery planet. Now, availability of water. Most of the water of the earth is found in oceans. Ocean cover 2/3 of the earth's surface, support a rich variety of plants and animals. But the ocean water is saline and unfit for human use. Freshwater water account for only about 2.7%. Out of which 70% occurs as a ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountainous regions. Only 1% of fresh water is available for human use. It is available beneath the earth's surface. Now, we will see how a hydrological cycle works or the water cycle works. Clear? Fresh water is therefore more precious and small in quantity. The quantity of water remains the same over the earth's surface. It can neither to be decreased nor increased. Its total volume remains same as it gets renewed through the hydrological cycle. Means when the water of the oceans get heat from the sun, it becomes hot, and through evaporations it goes down on the in the atmosphere, where it will follow a process which called the condensation process. After condensation process, it becomes in a teeny drops of the rain, and rains becomes. Then it comes on the earth, and after flowing in rivers or the canals or in the lakes, it comes to again in the oceans. Clear? So this complete a cycle which is called the water cycle. Now, the uses of water. Human beings use water for the various purposes. First, for domestic use like the drinking, cooking, bathing, cleaning, washing clothes and utensils. In the industries, to carry on the process of production. Third, second, to irrigate the agriculture field to get crops. Fourth, for generating the electricity through reservoir of the dams. Fifth, it may use for the navigations, clear, and many other activities which required in our life. Now, our water resources are following are under pressure due to some factors. Which are those factors? First is the ever-growing population. Second, rising demands for food and cash crops. Third, increasing urbanization. Fourth, rising standard of living, etc. Next, we will see the scarcity of water. What is the scarcity of water? When we face the lack of water. It's called the scarcity of water. It is estimated that in 2025, nearly 2 billion people of India have absolute water scarcity, and large parts of India will also join the countries or the regions having absolute water scarcity, like most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, the parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia is facing, and other parts are facing the shortage of water. Clear? Now we will see the water resources in India. India receives nearly 4% of the global precipitation and ranks 133 in the world's terms of water availability per person per annum. The total renewable water resources of India are estimated at 1897 square kilometer per annum. India's the water resources have sectored in two categories. First, the Himalayan rivers, and second, the peninsular rivers. These rivers flow a high quantity of water till the ocean. Clear? Himalayan rivers are called the perennial river. Why? Because they flow of water throughout the years. While the southern or the peninsular regions rivers are the seasonal rivers, because they get water only in the rainy season. Multipurpose project. What is a multipurpose project? Multipurpose project is a dam built across the river. A dam is called the multipurpose project. It services several purposes, such as the controlling floods, provide water for irrigation, generations of hydroelectricity, provide drinking water, and navigation. Therefore, these modern multipurpose projects have been termed as temples of modern India by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was our first and former Prime Minister. Clear? So, some multipurpose projects are also made in whole India. First, Damodar Valley project in Bihar and West Bengal, Bhagra Nagal Dam at Satluj River, across the Satluj River in Punjab, Hirakund project across Mahanadi in Orissa, Kosi project in Bihar, Rihand project in UP. Now, how we can conserve our water? We can conserve our water through some methods. First is control on water pollution. Water pollution can be controlled by treating industrial effluents suitably before releasing them into water bodies. Second, vegetation cover. We should increase forest area and plant more and more trees as the vegetation covers slow and surface runoff, the replenish underground water. Third, rainwater harvesting system. Various rainwater harvesting methods should be adopted to save run of water. Rooftop rainwater harvesting system, percolation pits, and making inundation channels are important methods of rainwater harvesting system. It is mostly used in Rajasthan or the areas which facing the water scarcity in the world. Next, natural vegetation and wildlife. Wildlife generally refers to the both plants and animals, including the birds and fish living in the wild. Wildlife is considered an important part of environment. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. All the plants and animals are interdependent on each other for their survival. This is called the ecosystem. This type of ecosystem are the different categories: forest, grasslands, scrubs, and the tundras. Clear? Next, we will see what is the importance of forest. Forests are very rich important as they play protective as well as the productive role in human life. Productive roles, they provide us timber. First, second, they help in storage of underground water. They provide us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, lac, medicinal plants, etc. They make proper by the wood pulp obtained from the trees of forest. They attract the clouds and help in rain, and thus they modify the climate. Second, protective roles. They give shelter to animals. They produce oxygen we breathe. They protect soil, which is essential for the growing crops. They act as a shelter belt. They help in storage of underground water. Clear? Now we will see the importance of wildlife. Wildlife include the animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. Life is important in the following ways. They provide us ivory, meat, hides, and the wool. Insects like the bees help in the pollinations of the flowers and have an important role in as to play as the decomposers of the ecosystem. Vulture, due to the ability to feed on the dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleaner of the environment. All the animals, whether big or small, are integral part of the maintaining ecological balance. Now we'll see the distribution of natural vegetations, means the classification. First are forest. In the forest, first A, evergreen forest. These forests are found in the areas where there are abundant supply of heat and rain. These forests are very dense. Several kinds of tree species are found in these areas. They remain green throughout the years. They do not shed their leaves. They are called evergreen forest. We can take the two types of these, tropical evergreen forest and the mid-latitudinal evergreen forest. These are found in South America, Central America, and the West Africa. Special species, mahogany, ebony, rosewood. Clear? Next, B, deciduous forest. These forests shed their leaves during a particular period in order to conserve the moisture through the transpiration. These forests are not so dense as the equatorial forest or the evergreen forest. They have also two categories, the tropical forest and tropical deciduous forest, and B, mid-latitude deciduous forest. They receive rainfall annually 50 to 150 centimeter. Birch, ash are such, and cinchona also, but birch, ash are such type of the forest. Bamboo also include in it. Next, Mediterranean Sea forest. Sea, Mediterranean forest. These forests are found on the west coast of the continents between 30 to 40 degrees north and south of equator. They receive average annual rainfall about 150 centimeter, which occurs in winter only. These also evergreen and don't shed their leaves even in the dry season. Oak, olive are such important trees found in such type of forest. Next, D, coniferous forest. These forests are found only in the northern hemisphere. They are also known the boreal forest. These forests are ground the North Pole, North America, Eurasia, to save from the weight of the accumulating and falling snow. Trees have thick needle-shaped leaves, soft wood, and trees such as the pine, spruce, and cedar. Now the conservation of natural vegetation. For the last two centuries, there has been a rapid increase in population of the world, which caused large-scale destructions of forest to get a land for growing crops to feed such large population. Clear? So we have to plant on our earth more and more, because they give us shelter only for us, not also to the animals and the birds. Clear? They maintain the ecological balance. So we have to conserve these. For this, our government also encourage such type of mahotsav, like such type of festivals like the Van Mahotsav, social forestry. Clear? So these, according to these, afforestation is done. Means in the high numbers the plants are planting. Clear? Conservation of wildlife. Conservation of wildlife also important like the conservation of the plants, because of we all are dependent on each other. Some animals depend on green forest, green grass, green plants, and some animals depend on some other small animals. They hunt them and survive. Clear? So it is very important to conserve them. Shrinking habitat due to the reckless cutting of forest. Clear? Hunting and poaching of animals to get hides, skin, nails, teeth, horns, as well as the feather for the trading purposes. So we have to stop these. Clear? By setting up national parks, we can stop the hunting and poaching of the animals. Clear? So national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere are such type of step to conserve the wildlife. By maintaining biosphere reserve, it is an area where the several ecosystems are found. It is intended to demonstrate the relationship between the conservation and the development. So we have to conserve the wild animals and plants and not killing of birds or the other creatures which are the part of our ecology. Clear? Wildlife conservation in India. What have done in India? So in India, the government has established several national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and the biosphere reserve. Killing of lions, tigers, deer, great Indian bustard, and the peacocks is declared illegal, and any patron found involved in such type of activities is liable to be punished. So in India, there are 14 biosphere reserve to have set up in countries to protect the flora and fauna. Clear? Some are Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, Sundarban in Odisha and Bengal, Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, Nilgiri in Kerala and Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Such type of biosphere reserve are. Clear? Financial and technically assistance to provide to many botanical gardens by the government. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. 89 national parks and 490 wildlife sanctuaries and eco and geological gardens have been set up to take care of the natural heritage. Clear? So it's our all duty to protect these type of part of our ecological balance. Clear? Okay, nice to meet you, student. Have a nice day. Thank you.